excellence in sports entertainment.
Pro wrestling talk from the four corners of parts unknown. This is That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. The good bad guys of wrestling podcasts are back, talking all things of the week that was in professional wrestling. Myself, Kevin, and Joe are here. Jason has the week off. The reason why he is off is Jason has a clause in his contract that he must have food from Sheetz at the latest every 6 months. So he is back home enjoying that. He'll be back next week. We've got just a few couple of shows left before the end of the year. We got some fun things planned that I'm sure we'll get into next week. But guys, I mean, it's almost over. The holidays are, I guess, in full swing. Are you feeling the holiday spirit yet? Or are you guys ready? Christmas shopping, any of that stuff yet?
Absolutely not. Nope.
Yeah.
Not feeling it because it's still like in the 40s and 50s in the Midwest. So it definitely doesn't feel that way. And the only people I have bought presents for are you three.
Yes.
So my wife has even said like, "Oh, it's great that you got the guys' gifts. We haven't bought anything for me." I'm like,
it is funny because Laura said the same exact thing. She's like, "You realize we don't buy each other gifts, but you spend XXX."
Yep.
I'm guilty of that as well.
We're all right. See,
shared
all
what
guilty.
I spent, and everything leading up to this week was we're not really doing gifts for ourselves, right? And then we've kind of relented a little bit, but it's not going to be overboard by any stretch. So
we sat down, set a budget, and
Good.
My wife has the tradition of her family throughout her whole life was always the 12 gifts of Christmas. So even if it's little things, you're still opening 12 items. So like one of them could just be like, a Snickers bar, like if money was really tight in her house. So it would always feel like the kids always had something to open underneath the tree. 12 items, the 12 gifts of Christmas. So
that's
it's
a
just
good tradition.
Matter of it. It's just a matter of what the budget is each year of what you're doing. So
Mr. Baller, what'd you get this year, Baller?
Oh yeah,
get those new Jordan ones.
Well, she's in
That'd
the
be
other
Jason
room,
on the
so
show.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to give up that she got slipper socks size small. You know what I'm saying? Very nice.
Well, you got slipper size double XL, right?
I said for her, not for me.
No,
hopefully for you, you're getting something.
Yeah, me. I think mine would be a XL, double XL. Yes, but for her, it would be small. Child's large, whatever.
Well, we'll see in a couple of weeks. I'd say probably highly unlikely that our respective spouses provided us with wrestling shirts for Christmas. Maybe we took care of each other when we had the gift episode in a couple of weeks.
I doubt it. She says I have too many.
Right? Yeah.
Unlike Jason, who says I don't have enough.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of wrestling shirts, what are we wearing tonight, fellas?
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today?
Yes, that's exactly right. It is time for What Are You Wearing? I'll start this off. This gentleman, Kevin is peeking because he has not seen mine since we hopped on prior to recording. He closed out SmackDown on Friday after the fantastic World Cup finals between Ricochet and Santos Escobar. I'm talking about Gunther, but I've got the Walter shirt. I don't have my Gunther version that I made the one time when his name changed, if you guys remember that.
Yeah, you put like tape over it. Like, what was it, duct tape?
Yeah, I had painter's tape, and I did it in marker and in letters, Gunther. So yeah, I was not ready to do that tonight, but we're going to have him and Ricochet. I think that's not this week. I think it's the following Friday.
Well, I fear
man, that match
Ricochet
was fantastic. That was no doubt, but that was a lot of fun. Kev, on to you.
Yeah. So last week I have Rhyme and Reason. So I'm wearing shirts I haven't worn yet this year. Last week I finally wore the Edge shirt that I bought at SummerSlam, and this week I'm wearing the classic SummerSlam shirt that I've owned, I think, for about a long time, because I think it was a Royal Rumble win.
Oh,
right.
so maybe a
FYI,
year
that one of
ago,
you guys, one of you guys got for me. But then just, the year took over, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear it around SummerSlam. I want to wear it for the first time around SummerSlam. Got lost in the closet because we're balling on shirts. And then I looked and I'm like, I only have 3 more shirts I haven't worn all year. So perfect timing, great time. I still
SummerSlam.
I still think about just how much fun we had in the city of Nashville. So great opportunity to wear it. Joe, what are you wearing?
Well, I remember the first time I wore that shirt that you're wearing was at your house.
On the way to SummerSlam?
Yeah, it's like I have on the way to SummerSlam.
Oh, okay.
I am wearing my 2022 MJF shirt. I mean, I'm wearing
I see what you did there.
1984 Hot Rod white ringer tee. I wore this because I knew Jason wouldn't be here, and he's like saying that I only buy like the popular shirts.
Yeah.
And I know no one's ever bought this shirt, the white ringer tee that says Hot Rod, but I'm calling it the MJF 2022 shirt. So that's what I'm wearing today.
After Wednesday's
I've always
Dynamite.
wanted that shirt.
Well, it's fact.
It's
certainly
I've
a
always
top 10 shirt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a top 10 shirt. It's like, this Macho Man purple and either Hulkamania, and I have all of those.
Yeah. Yeah, those are classic staples that if you think you are a collector of wrestling shirts, you don't go without those. So that's
you don't.
Do you own a Hot Rod shirt, Brian?
No.
Neither do I.
No, I'm not really a collector of wrestling shirts. I mean, listen, I probably have a legitimate 24, which is amazing.
That's pretty good. That's a case. You have a case of wrestling shirts
compared to.
Wait, you have 24. I'm calling shenanigans on this one. I want to list.
I'm gonna go the under.
Okay.
I'm going with the under.
All right. It's got to be more than 16, I would say. we'll see. I'll do the count though. We'll find out. We'll see who's close.
Well, I think the last time I counted it was 48.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Kevin, I'm guessing you're the over on that one. You have more than 48.
If I actually counted the shirts, I have part of t-shirt blankets that
those don't count because they don't count because
if those did count, I would probably have over 100.
Like if I counted my wife's,
I'm going to say I probably have about 55, 60. Guess.
Okay, so we're close.
So maybe Kevin, I'll put this idea to you now because I know I mentioned it to Jay last year and I think he kind of shrugged it off and it never happened. We should do for March a bracket, NCAA tournament bracket of your shirts. I want you to give them seeds and we're going to have the fans vote on our Twitter on which is the best of your shirt collection. Since you have about 64, you might be able to pull it off.
We should each pick 16.
A sweet 16.
A sweet 16 each. No, each 16. And we see.
Is that because you want Brian to be involved?
But we say my 1 versus Brian 16, my 5 versus Jay's 12.
Yeah, there's something there. Yeah.
And then let's think about this.
The shirt March Madness.
But I will say this because I know Jason's gonna listen. He has a secret shirt in waiting. He might wait as his number 1 seed. That might be the overall 1 seed. And I'm not just saying that to make him happy.
Well, with Jason, he's going to say he's going to win no matter what.
Yeah, we've heard about this shirt. I don't know if it's going to make an appearance at the Twippies. There's been rumors about that, but he has not confirmed or denied. So we will have to wait and see when the time is right. Apparently, it will be coming. So
when I hear of this ultimate shirt, I'm just picturing when he was in a store or opened the box when it got delivered. John Travolta opening the briefcase in Pulp Fiction, and it was just the golden orb that was on him.
Yeah.
And he just goes, "Yeah, we good," and then closes it. That's what I picture when Jason saw this infamous shirt. So, Kevin, it has to be that good.
It's pretty good.
It's been built up, so I feel like a lot of times when he does build things up, it does deliver. So I'm certainly coming in optimistic, but
this is being built up like Avatar: Way of Water.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, which
in theater soon. Yes.
Boom.
If it's anything like the first one, it will be visually amazing, but story will be garbage.
Pretty much. So on to the world of wrestling from this week. Let's start things off. We're going to look ahead talking about the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania too. Because we know the rumor, it's been out there for a long time of at WrestleMania in Hollywood, Roman Reigns versus The Rock. That's been the rumor that if they can get Rock to do it, that's the match. We've wondered if this match is going to take place and how would it come together? So the latest rumor that's being discussed is for The Rock to win the Royal Rumble and then challenge Roman at Mania. Guys, I'm sure we all agree Rock and Roman is as big of a Mania main event as you can have, right? There's no question about that. But what do you think of the idea of The Rock, presumably a surprise entrant? I can't imagine they would say, The Rock's in the Royal Rumble. He wins the Royal Rumble. He challenges Roman for the championships at WrestleMania. How does that idea appeal to you?
First of all, if The Rock is going to be in the Rumble, they promote it. There's no way The Rock can be a surprise entrant. You need those subscriptions.
The eyeballs. Yeah, that's fair.
You need the eyeballs. There's no way if he's in it, they're going to have him be a surprise. The Hurricane's a surprise. Carlito's a surprise. The Rock is promoted for a month.
Okay. Well, do you like that idea? Let's say that's the route they go with that. Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't like it. I think it's like, I thought last year's Rumble was terrible, both the men's and the women's. If you got The Rock winning it, first of all, he'll be promoted, so that means he will win it. And what I love about the Rumble is anyone can win. Mm-hmm. This will take away the majesty of it, and I won't be into it again this year. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
The only way I like it, Cody at 29 and or 30, The Rock at the other number. We haven't seen a dual winner, right? In a long time.
Yeah, to touch the floor at the same time.
The only, because if Cody comes out at 29, that place is going to go crazy. Rock comes out at 30, that place is going to go crazy. Even vice versa, right? Because at 30, something hot is going to come in at 30. Someone. If neither of them show up prior, 30 is going to be Cody. Mm-hmm. I can tell you that right now. But if they both win, then it's like, I want to challenge for night 1 of WrestleMania. Boom. Who comes out next? I want to challenge for night 2 of WrestleMania. That would be pretty crazy if Roman wrestled both, right? Yeah. If it's not, but I do not want to see The Rock winning. I don't. I don't period.
Kevin, there's one thing you have to add to that. If not, it's a slight flaw. If Cody challenges for one night, Rock challenges for the other, Cody would get set night 1, and it's a guaranteed loss because Rock and Roman have to do the last match of the night, the whole show. Now, if the way that can work is if it was you get to challenge for one championship, the other one challenges for the other.
No, that's what I mean.
Which championship you do. But that way it makes more sense that Cody could win, get his WrestleMania moment on Saturday, and Roman could retain against The Rock on Sunday. That could save it.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be for both belts. No. It would be to separate the belts.
Like they did with Yokozuna, where it was
2 matches.
You knew he was going to beat Lex Luger. Oh,
I thought you were talking about Vegas.
No, not that. I'm talking about WrestleMania 10. WrestleMania 9 doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There's not one redeeming match on that card, so 9 doesn't exist. We're just talking 10.
Where you at, Doink?
I've seen that floated around.
Where you at, Tanaka versus Shawn Michaels?
Yeah,
it's because I listened to Busted Open earlier this week, and I heard a whole lot about like pros and cons of The Rock. Right. And I heard, bring him back. Solo, bring him back to go against Roman. Let's destroy the bloodline. Oh, let's do this to destroy the bloodline. Let's do this. And I'll say this, man. LaGreca brought up a good point. He's like, why do you guys want to destroy the bloodline? It's the best thing going. Truly, don't destroy it. You put a little kink in the armor of having a Roman lose a belt. Perfect. Don't have him go out on his back against The Rock. The only way to do that, if The Rock comes back, is to have Roman beat him. Not my original thought, right? Because I heard It go on for an hour when I was traveling for work this week. And it was just really good points of like, you want to push this to one of the best factions of all time. Boom. Have The Rock come back and have Roman pin him, shoulders on mat. Boom.
Which I think that would be the great direction to go in. I don't love the Rumble idea because months ago, I remember we kind of talked a little bit about this of like, how do you get the belts off Roman if they were thinking about that for WrestleMania? How do you split them up or whatever the case? Well, time's running out, right? The Rumble is next. So I don't like it because The Rock and Roman doesn't need the belts because it's not realistic for The Rock to win. So here's my idea, and tell me what you guys think of this. Here's what I propose. Somehow Sami Zayn wins the Rumble. He kind of wins it accidentally, however that happens. The bloodline turns on him. Then Sami decides to forget waiting until WrestleMania. I want my shot at Roman at the Elimination Chamber, which is in his hometown of Montreal. So he's going to have the huge. We're going to get Roman and Sami in Sami's hometown. It's going to be a great atmosphere, just like it was for Drew versus Roman in England. Roman does win, but when the bloodline is beating down Sami, if you smell, hits. Rock comes out, makes the save. So now we got Rock and Roman at Mania for the championship. It just feels more personal than just like surprise entrant or just winning the Royal Rumble and I'm going to WrestleMania when you haven't been there at all. Do you guys like that idea at all?
I think it's fun.
Okay.
It seems fun, but it's like there's one thing. It's like if Vince was still in charge, you got a screw job again with Sami Zayn, the hometown hero, and the championship.
Yeah,
Ring the bell would happen.
Right.
With Triple H in charge, a little bit more optimistic on that one. Because at first when you said Montreal championship, hometown, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I think something's happened there before, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of that angle. I was thinking more of just hometown boy, and that we finally have the split. And let's see.
Do you see Triple H reliving that? Because he
Not
was involved in it.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. I mean, I just think, Rome. It doesn't have to be a screw job in the traditional sense, but
And why do we have to have the bloodline turn on Sami? Why do we have to Usoference? Yeah. Why do we have to have the bloodline turn on Sami? Didn't we just say that we wanted the bloodline to keep going because it's a hot faction? There's one thing they haven't done yet, which could give it some legs. Turn them face. Have them face heels.
Yeah. No,
the locker room is sick of them, and the heels all get together like Judgment Day and cheat to try to cheat the championship off the tribal chief. Now you have a bloodline that is protecting their family instead of trying to take over the business.
Yeah. No, I'm not against any of that. I was just thinking about that Montreal Elimination Chamber show and how do you get such a big spot for Sami? So that's kind of where that came from. But yeah, nothing about
not bad.
Nothing about like turning the bloodline. Am I like, no, you have to? Absolutely not. Because like you all said, it's going so good.
Kevin,
any final word? Yep. You took it right out of me, man. You took it right out. I was literally about to do that. So this is something came earlier today, and shockingly, when I prefaced it in our little pre-show chit chat, the guys are like, "What news? What news?" The news is about Sasha Banks, and here is the news, guys. As Kevin, thank you for the breaking news sounder.
I'm here all day.
PW Insider reports that Mercedes Varnado, better known as Sasha Banks in WWE, is set to be at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 17 next month. It's unknown if she will appear in front of a live audience, but she is being brought in by Japan. Back in October, she teased a match with Kairi Sane, of course, former WWE talent who's in Stardom, the Japanese women's promotion, and she's the IWGP Women's Champion. So we might be getting Sasha Banks at New Japan. So I guess kind of a twofold question, just what do you think of that announcement? And then number two, I mean, I guess, what do you want to see from Sasha? Because obviously she's been gone since May. Whether she's under WWE contract, there's yes and no's to that. Obviously, AEW's out there. Oh, by the way, on Dynamite, they just set up hey, Britt Baker and Jamie versus Saraya and a mystery part. Pick who you want. So maybe right after the first of the year, she's a free agent. Who knows? So everything's up in the air. Guys, your reaction, and do you care any direction where it goes?
One thing I want to see from Mercedes, right? Otherwise known as Sasha. I just want to see her wrestle. That's it.
No matter promotion, it's all good.
She's been gone. Like, I know it sounds so bad. Her, and I've said this multiple times. Her, I want to see wrestle. I want to see her back in the ring. Naomi at the same time left. No interest ever seeing Naomi. None. Right? If it was Naomi, we're talking about Naomi, I'll be like, nope. See ya. But Sasha, no, I think we all chimed into the Wrestle Kingdom back in the day when Jericho with the Painmaker, right? Yeah. I remember we talked about it. That was the only one that I truly watched. And what channel was it in? I remember exactly where I was. I was in Louisville, Kentucky. So it was at least 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Cause it had to have been 5 years ago. And I haven't watched one since. It's more of that
2017. Yeah.
It's more of the spectacle type situation. So this one, if I have it free on TV, shoot. Or I think it's like the replay I watch. I don't watch it live.
They'll put it on Access.
I think it might have been. Channel. I think it was Access TV. Mm-hmm. I'll definitely watch. They can't bring her in not to wrestle. There's no way. She's got to wrestle. It can't be no backstage dumb thing. She's got to get in that ring, have people politely cheer when they do great moves. Just the fun stuff.
That's what they do. Yeah. Joe?
I don't know. Conflicted because women typically don't wrestle in New Japan. Didn't they just start doing that back in like August?
Exactly.
Like this is relatively new. So it's like, I guess this is a way for them to establish a women's division, but it's like, is she I don't know. I'm conflicted. It's I'm gonna do the typical see where it plays out.
Yeah. I guess
I'm not gonna say sign more guys or sign the right guys for this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, wherever she goes, she's gonna make an impact on some level.
She's going to Impact?
Yeah, breaking news.
Wait, really?
It's who is it?
She's gonna make an impact and it's gonna be Dynamite. What? She's going to AEW?
Wait, did you say W? She's going to NWA?
It's Sasha Bonks in the Impact Zone.
Did you say Sasha Bonks?
She's got
Sasha Bonks.
Sasha Bonks.
And she's just gonna smack some people down. Wait, she's going back to WWE?
That comment was raw.
That's the thing is like, I think seeing that she's doing a New Japan thing, if that does end up happening, a year or so ago, you go, oh, okay, looks like New Japan, AEW for sure. But in the new WWE under Triple H, I can't imagine, or I guess it doesn't seem too far-fetched that he would be like, you know what? You're under contract with us, but go do New Japan for, a couple of deals and then come back to us like for the Royal Rumble or SummerSlam, WrestleMania, whatever the case. So it's just, it is a whole lot of like
back Tegan Knox.
Well, yes, I had no recollection. She was unrecognizable to me when you saw her come out. I'm like, they were like, that's Tegan Knox. I'm like, it is. She had like 5 colors of hair. I was like, okay, look at you.
And the crowd went, oh, okay.
Same reaction.
What I thought was funny about
mild.
Yeah.
No, what I thought was funny about SmackDown was like going back to that was when Shayna Baszler was finishing her match and 3 women came out. She goes, nope, not touching it. There's 3 there. I'm not an idiot.
Mhm.
When Damage Control's out there, Liv Morgan's like, I'm gonna fight all three
Give
of
me
you.
that kendo stick. Yep. Yeah. That's my girl.
What?
She's crazy.
That's your girl. Yeah, I thought
well-
I thought I'd give you some props on that. And then Tegan Knox of all people helps her out.
Yeah. Yeah. Did see that coming, but hey, she's a fine talent. But yeah, that was like, oh, okay, that's who you are. I literally had no recognition of who that was. Kevin, how about one more breaking news sounder on this one? This is just came across my desk. Breathe in, breathe out. Just talking about the
TWP.
Yes, talking about the Elimination Chamber a moment ago, a 1 day sellout of essentially over nearly 13,000 tickets sold for the first day for
awesome.
Elimination Chamber. So yeah, again, you got to put Sammy in some big spot, Kevin Owens in some big spot. That's going to be an amazing scene coming up.
Oh, they both have
February
to be
18th.
in the chamber.
Well,
right?
I mean, again, we'll have to we'll have to see, but if there's a chamber match for the men, then yeah, you'd have to figure they would be playing some part in it. All right, so very cool news there. The other news that was very interesting and confirmed this week, William Regal officially released from AEW. He is heading back to WWE. Tony Khan, he made it official. The rumor had been going on really since last week, and he made it official in the conference call that he did to promote the Ring of Honor Final Battle, basically saying that Regal came to him, said he wanted to go back to WWE. His son is a performer in NXT, Charlie Dempsey, which I'd heard about, but wasn't completely sure that was the truth. And basically, you know, he wants to live out his final years as a wrestler in his career in the wrestling business, back with Triple H and back with WWE. Tony admitted that this was tough for him to do because obviously he's been a part of a huge angle with Blackpool Combat Club and just had the whole thing with giving MJF the title at Full Gear. The one stipulation that he did say is that he cannot, he'll let him out of the contract, but you can't appear on WWE TV programming for 1 year. So presumably it's just a backstage role, coaching, and the like that. Then along with that, they had him be written off on TV on Dynamite Wednesday night. If you guys saw, they did that pre-recorded interview with Tony Schiavone, where basically he kind of foreshadowed that, hey, if something happens to me, which what it was with MJF the week before, basically saying that, you know, my last lesson I could teach these guys, because these guys, you know, other than Yuta, they got everything going on. They don't need me anymore. Is to always have eyes in the back of your head. So all that being said, there's a lot there. What did you guys think of how, first off, Tony handled the situation and granting Regal his release? And what'd you think of that TV angle? I thought that was really good on Wednesday night.
I thought it was crafted nicely, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was, it was like a present ripped apart with a little bit of tape on it to kind of make it look a little bit nicer, with, you know, helping MJF win the title with the Nux, and then using the excuse, right, of why it still worked, right? It just wasn't perfect. But 1 year off TV, we're almost 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when the bidding war of 24 starts exactly.
Yeah.
But if they wanted to make Regal behind the scenes, if MJF truly made it to WWE at that point, have Regal somehow, because wrestling fans will remember, right? That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
We don't forget. If it's like, oh, and MJF just plants the seeds. If he's smart, he ain't going anywhere from AEW, and Tony won't let that cash cow leave. That's the thing. It truly will be a bidding war, but it kind of plays into a nice little, MJF's going to keep talking about it several times. But I thought it worked nicely. I think Tony Khan saying no TV for a year, good play by him. Regal is a great, not just personality behind the camera. He's such a coach behind the camera. He doesn't even have to say anything. Just the look of him on screen, especially with his son, you know, being in NXT and not being out there. that's probably part of why Tony kind of mentioned that as well. So he doesn't like accompany his son to the ring, or let's do some vignettes of him training his son, So I don't know. I think it was a win-win on both sides. Tony actually did well.
Joe?
I'll start with your first question, which was, how did Tony handle it? Tony can't handle it. Respect for him. He did the right thing. I think more people should do that. It's like, it's weird in the wrestling business that it's the one job where I'm not happy at this position. I'd like to give my 2 weeks notice. No, we're going to keep you for 3 years. But I'm having mental health problems, and I thought the grass would be greener, and I want to try to go back to try something else. 3 years, and now we're not going to put you on TV. Ha ha ha.
Very well said.
Okay, but I'm really so he did the right thing with Regal. He doesn't do it with anyone else, but he did the right thing with Regal.
Yeah.
Now the angle. I think it was poorly done. Ooh. I thought it was bad because it it was so obviously thrown together last minute due to Regal leaving that they didn't play this out. Like, writing a good mystery is the characters don't change, right? And it's Shivani who ruined it. You can't go from, oh, by the way, I recorded this secretly 2 weeks ago, but when he turned, he was playing it off like it was Hogan turning on WCW again, and it was like calling Regal every name in the book, and I can't believe you aligned with him. No, you can't do that. It was obviously a last second thing, and that video was dumb. I think it would have been better if they just had the attack, because that makes MJF look dumb. It's not going to do much for the Blackpool Combat Club, except for establish that they're still staying together. But I don't think it did anything for Regal. Oh, I'm going to be with you guys forever. It's like, you didn't die. You just left the company. I thought if anything should happen to me, play this. That's such a cheap tactic, and the worst mystery stories ever. I think the last time that happened, they took the mask off it, and it was Old Man Carruthers of the amusement park who would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those kids.
Maybe that's why I liked it.
Damn dog. I think it was I thought it was, when I watched it, I went, this is bad. If they're fine with it, it's like, but why change the true villain into the sweetest old guy in the world?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. You change the character, and that is like mystery writing 101. Don't change the character. When they turn, it should have been predicted the whole time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
What do you think, Brian? Because I want to hear a little bit more from you, because you said you liked it, but I want to know why.
Yeah, I just thought it was a creative way. Like, Tony teased it in a match or so earlier of by the way, I've got something with Regal a little bit later on, and then when they came out and did the interview, that's when he revealed it. So I was like, okay, yeah, how are they gonna write him off? And yeah, the injury angle of being loaded into the ambulance and taken away and never heard from or seen from again, that's been done a bajillion times in wrestling. So I thought it was interesting to finally get the answer of yeah, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I agree. In retrospect, it does seem a little sloppy of the hey, in case something happens to me, and I'm a bad guy, so wink, wink, it's probably going to happen. I guess in retrospect, it does seem a little sloppy, but I thought it was different compared to just the typical of oh, Regal got injured and taken to the ambulance and never heard from again. So I thought it was a little creative on their part. The other part, though, I getting back to the releasing of the contract, and I saw some people online say this, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. So he's released to go to WWE, but again, no TV for a year, which, he's obviously been so great on AEW TV as the NXT general manager. He's been fantastic. It's interesting that WWE can maybe release somebody and they have a 90-day no compete. And then after those 90 days, you're free to do what you want. But he threw in this 1 year of like, you can work there and that's cool, but no TV. And so it was kind of like now I kind of see both sides on it a little bit of like, well, why don't you just give him a release of no conditions? Because this is what he wants to do. But yeah, I was all ready to have a topic of like, so what do you want to see Regal do? Should he manage his son or NXT or, a main roster thing? And then it's like, oh, well, that's not happening for a year. So thought that was interesting, right?
Do you think the Hall of Fame counts as no TV? Because that is a premium event that's just on the streamer.
I thought about
Does that
Joe.
count?
Yeah.
Actually, William Regal is not allowed. When he comes back as Willie Regal, it's going to be a great time.
Or a man's man, William Regal.
Oh my, yeah, Steven Regal from back in the WCW
Steven Regal,
days.
yes. No, yeah. I think that's my only thing. Like, yeah, he wants to do the behind the scenes things, and I think that's a smart use of his time. It's just sad when they say 1 year, because I would have rather had it be 11 months so he could announce War Games for Survivor Series.
Yeah.
His rightly place on television. I'd like to see, to keep his name in the forefront, give him a Hall of Fame this year.
I think that's the way to go.
Would that count? That count?
I would say that would not count, because
I would say it wouldn't count, but
yeah, that's an honor, being stowed upon him.
Because remember, Billy Gunn got to go to the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. AEW was just launching. It's like, yeah, here's a cool thing for you because of your career. So, I would think that they would play nice in that instance and not like pull some sort of, hey, you broke our agreement card. But nevertheless, yeah, we'll see how that comes out once he's officially in the company in 2023. Quick things on Monday Night Raw. Couple of takeaways. First off, Solo Sikoa is completely channeling Umaga now with the Samoan spike. He's got the tape and everything onto Riddle. He took him out. He did that chair around the head and like the whatever you want to call that into the turnbuckle corner. Riddle looks like he's going to be done for a little while. I thought that was really cool. And they had a couple triple threat matches to set up Bianca's challenger. The winners, Bayley and Alexa Bliss. We've had some more little teases of Bray Wyatt involvement with Alexa, more flashing things on the TVs behind her, and she teased doing Sister Abigail in the match. Guys, just thoughts on Monday Night Raw? Anything stand out to you?
I thought Solo with the spike was great. It made him, the Umaga spike, excuse me, was monstrous. When it led up to with the Samoan drop and then the spike, he looked nasty. He looked like a powerhouse. There's a huge difference between Solo and Umaga. Umaga moved so fast, but he was so big, right? Solo, little bit, he's strong. He's beefy looking, but when you're like the security of the bloodline and you're slightly bigger than an Uso, you're not as big looking as Roman. You get some of those, like with the Samoan spike in there, it makes you look a little bit more aggressive. Not a dig against Solo, but I thought it's gonna heighten his the security of the bloodline look. Raw was all right. I think it was all right. Triple threat matches were good.
Mm-hmm. Joe?
I wish they would have got rid of the whole JBL poker tournament. I felt like that dragged the show. I felt like that dragged the show down to 24/7 championship type segments. I feel like this was the first rare miss for Raw in months, and it would have been better without the JBL tournament. It brought nothing to the table.
Yes.
But anyway, I like the triple threat matches. I think once Bayley won, it was really obvious that Alexa Bliss was going to win the main event, because Bayley was going to cause Becky to lose. So,
yeah.
But just because it was obvious doesn't mean it wasn't the right call.
Yeah.
Solo going off on Riddle. I feel like Riddle needs this repackaging. He needs the time off, because since Randy's been gone, he's been floundering. He hasn't been doing anything
since Seth. He beat him at Extreme Rules in the fight pit, and that's could be a career defining win of beating Seth
but
Rollins.
Seth is the one who went the most over.
Exactly. So yeah, so it was definitely like immediately into this Elias program, which I'm, sorry to Elias, but that's a step back. So yeah. So maybe some time off will do Riddle good. Maybe he comes back for the Rumble or something to that effect. But Joe, I think your criticisms, not so much specifically on the poker tournament, but it's interesting because of WWE not having a pay-per-view premium live event until the Rumble. So it's like we got some time to kill, right? So I think they're kind of maybe coming up with some grasping of straws of different ideas to kind of just get through these next weeks before we actually start to really build for the Royal Rumble after the start of the year.
Oh no, I get that, but they could treat Raw like it's a actual premium live event on basic cable.
Yeah,
I mean,
hopefully they do.
How many times do we have to see Ali lose?
Yeah.
It's getting to it's rehashing. I know you're saying like we don't have any. Like we're on the payroll. We're not.
Yeah.
There's nothing planned until the Rumble. That's the next big event. But why not treat this as must-see television for the next couple weeks?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair, especially because that's what AEW is doing. Like next week with their Winter is Coming, they have a special episode, right? So I think they could take a clue from them into maybe boosting a show to have a little bit of a PLE feel just on a Monday night.
So. Just call it instead of Night of Champions, you can call it like Clash of Champions. They sure like to bring those back, and it's have one night of Raw being all the championships are on the line. Have Roman face Braun Strowman on there. Why not? I mean, he's not going to win, but at least it would make it seem like it'd be a viable opponent.
Yeah,
and it's like. It's something that could just be fun. It could be fun to watch.
Yep. No, agreed. We'll see if they play that out here next couple of weeks. But we do have a couple of wrestling big shows this weekend for fans of these brands. We got NXT Deadline that's coming up on Saturday night. The card, we got Apollo Crews and Braun Breaker. You got the New Day, who appeared on Tuesday night show, versus Pretty Deadly. And then we have the men's and women's Iron Survivor Challenge match. The winners receive future NXT title shots. We have Axiom, Grayson Waller, Joe Gacy, Carmelo Hayes, and JD McDonough. And for the women, Zoe Starks, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, Kiana James, Kiana James and Indy Hartwell. Guys, what jumps out to me is obviously New Day coming to NXT. That was completely out of nowhere. They've been bringing out some main roster talent. But I think, if you're going to put them in a title match on a premium live event, I think they have to win, right? I mean, you can't not have the New Day win.
We're both going,
Well, go ahead. Sell me on it, guys. Sell me on it.
It's like having The Rock beat Roman for the championship.
No, it's not. Because they can be there every week.
The New Day's just there to. The New Day's there to build them up.
Yeah.
Unless it's a New Day is this year's version of Dolph Ziggler when he was NXT champ around this time last
for like
year.
A month or two. Yeah.
But. I don't know. I just feel like in tag team rankings, New Day is just way bigger than Ziggler.
Let me.
It is, yeah. So I can't see them taking a loss. That's my point. It's like
we'll go half the entire NXT card. It's who do you think will win more? New Day beating Pretty Deadly or Apollo? I understand Apollo's NXT. He's not on the main roster anymore.
Yeah,
but he came from the main roster. Or Apollo beating Braun Breaker. Which do you think is more likely?
I think both have a chance, but I kind of said it. I think you have to give it to New Day, and I'd be very surprised if they were to lose, and I can't see how they would lose. So yeah, that's my.
I think most likely it would be out of the two, the more likely one would be New Day winning.
Okay, and I agree. I agree. I don't think Apollo has any chance in hell.
Okay.
No. To be honest, I think New Day has a small chance above Apollo to win. But if Pretty Deadly, like they're just one of those tag teams. They're all right. Don't get me wrong, But if they decisively beat the New Day, it kind of propels them a little bit stronger. The only bad thing is if they beat the New Day go back on the main roster, getting beat by an NXT team. That's the tricky thing. So they Pretty Deadly will win by cheating. That's the only way they'll win. That's the only way.
But New Day has lost to everyone in this past year. They lost to the Brawling Brutes. They lost to the Viking Raiders. They lost to the Usos. They're still over with the crowd. People are still New Day rocks. The New Day can lose for 2 years and still be over with the main roster crowd. So that doesn't matter.
Hold up. Breaking news. New Day is now known as Bad Day.
Oh, come on. You're
no way. New Day rocks.
You're better than that.
No, I meant they haven't won.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like that's what they're supposed to be doing right now.
Sad day. Or my day is.
It's a sad day. Yes, it is.
Wow. And then they slow down the theme music. It's like bom, bom, bom.
In other ways, Roxanne Perez will win the women's match.
Okay.
I
really like her. Yeah. I'm curious how those matches will play out because of all the rules and everything.
Yeah, I still don't get the rules, but she'll win.
We'll see if it makes any more sense after we've seen it. And then, Ring of Honor final battle. I did find it interesting that with the Tony Khan conference call that he did on Wednesday earlier on the day, all the questions, not one person apparently asked about Jericho and Claudio for the championship. It was a lot of just, what's going on with Ring of Honor? When's the TV coming? And how's it been with AEW? All that stuff. So here is the card. And this is a 4:00 show. They just announced, of course, along with Jericho and Claudio, that Claudio would have to join the Jericho Appreciation Society. We are getting the Ring of Honor Tag Championship, the Tag Team Championship, in a double dog collar match of FTR and the Briscoes. So that sounds like insanity. Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta for the Pure Championship, Mercedes Martinez and Athena for the Women's Championship, Samoa Joe, Juice Robinson for the Television Championship, and the 6-man Tag Team Championship, Dalton Castle and the Boys and Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. Oh, and I can't forget Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus Shane Taylor and JD Griffey. I know Jason, if he was here right now, would sing all of the praises for Shane Taylor. He's said about him since before Ring of Honor closed. So I know he's probably very excited about that one in particular. But guys, I've made no secret that I'm kind of over Ring of Honor being on Dynamite and Rampage. And I'm kind of just in this holding pattern of my interest until television comes. Tony did say in his conference call that he would have an update after the final battle card. I believe they'll be doing a press conference after the show, so maybe we'll have some clarity on that next week. But guys, anything again catch your eye of interest to you on how this card is shaped out for Ring of Honor?
It looks like a
FTR
really
and the Briscoes.
Card. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It looks like a fun card, top to bottom, but that tag match.
That's it. It's a.
I'll watch. I'll look at the results after the show.
Yeah,
that's the big thing.
We're not ordering it, Jason. Sorry.
No, I think I saw it was $40, and it was like, wait, I'm $40 on a Saturday afternoon for a brand that doesn't have its own show, and it's just like, I'm sorry. I did like to, I think on Dynamite when even Mox finally admitted, like, at Final Battle, the Combat Club and the Jericho Appreciation Society are done. I was like,
yes,
thank you, Jesus. We've been watching them since May. Enough.
It's been 6 months.
Right.
And it's shouldn't Blood and Guts have been the end of it?
Right. That was like
June.
That was like the very beginning almost, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that was supposed to be the end of it. Well, we'll just keep it going.
What's that meme from Titanic of the old woman, like, it's been 87 years.
It's been 87
Yeah.
years since Inner Circle broke up, and now they're the same thing, and they replaced Santana Ortiz with those two doofuses.
Right.
2.0.
Let's move on, Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
please.
2.0, and like Hager's stupid hat that's not over at all.
The hat, yeah, it's a whole thing.
It's a bad day.
They're
Yes,
trying.
it is.
Thanks, Kevin.
That's not going to get over, Kevin.
No,
almost as bad as the
Briscoes and FTR is amazing no matter what. Briscoes and FTR, come on.
Yeah,
That's the match.
It's
like,
that'll be cool that they threw that in there at the end of Dynamite.
Jericho hasn't been on TV in weeks. He did his phoner of the Ocho here, and it's like, oh, you'll be a great sports entertainer. No, he won't. He wasn't a great sports entertainer. Claudio's a wrestler.
Right. Yeah. I don't need to see him in this society either. You're right. Let's just move.
Let's just, because here's the thing. Claudio loses. That means the Blackpool Combat Club and Jericho Appreciation Society has to continue.
You'd think so. Yeah. No one wants that. No one. Pro Wrestling Illustrated revealed their top 10 tag teams of 2022.
Speaking of tag teams.
Yeah, speaking of the tag teams, and we don't do, we're going to have our Twippy Awards, the second annual, coming up in a couple of weeks. We don't do a tag team category, so I thought this is one is worth a look over and get our thoughts on it. Number 10, Violence is Forever. I'm not too familiar with them, honestly. Number 9, The Hex from the NWA. Number 8, The Young Bucks. Number 7, The Good Brothers. Number 6, RK Bro. Number 5, Hazuki and Kaguma from Stardom. Number 4, The Death Triangle. Number 3, The Briscoes. Number 2, FTR. And number 1, The Usos. When you guys saw that list, who's properly rated, who's maybe overrated or not ranked and should be on there?
I would have bumped the Young Bucks out of the top 10 and put the Acclaimed in the spot.
I completely agree.
That would have been the only one. Young Bucks didn't do anything of note too much in 2020, not compared to the Acclaimed. Mm-hmm. So the Young Bucks would have dropped out. RK Bro, they haven't been around for a while, but their first half gives them that spot, and they put them at 6. I would have put them at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they deserve to be at a top 10 spot. But yeah, Acclaimed in the top 10, maybe 9 or 8. Young Bucks out of there. The only reason they're in there is because they're pro wrestling favorites, illustrated favorites, and they were the top team last year. You don't go from number 1 to out of the top 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out Violence is Forever. I feel like they are a GPW potential,
maybe
somewhere in there, especially since they're listed as freelance. That means like
freelance,
free agents.
Mm-hmm.
Briscoes are also
not affiliated
as that too.
Yeah. But we know what the Briscoes,
they've been a Ring of Honor team.
We've seen them. We've seen them on a variety of shows I've never heard of. Violence is Forever or the Stardom crew. So I'm gonna have to go check it out. But I think number 1 and 2 are well deserved. Usos. If you wouldn't have put Usos as number 1, they've been golden. If you would have told me we saw them at was it Hell in the Cell? How many years ago was that?
2017.
And they were still
5 years ago.
One of the best tag teams with the New Day. 5 years later, if you would have told me they would have been better, I would have been like, yeah, okay. But they're golden. They well deserved, absolutely well deserved. FTR number 2, well deserved. I would not have changed 1 and 2. And number 1 is the Usos are exactly where they need to be.
Yeah, I think you could have probably flipped a coin on those top 2, and you wouldn't hear an argument from me on whoever it comes up with. So I think they got that right.
Kenny, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Kenny actually tweeted when that came out, and he said, I believe he said something like "well deserved" to the Usos and number 1. So that's huge.
Nice.
That's big. That's nice.
That's nice. also give some good consideration to the Street Profits on that list. Again, some of those teams we're not exactly super familiar with, but I thought they had a really good year for the most part, just being that team that just could not get over the hump against the Usos though. So, but yeah, otherwise.
What about the Alpha Academy then?
Yeah, I mean,
top
again,
25,
kind of first half of the year, right? They were Raw champs. I think they had a good WrestleMania match. I can't remember. And then it seems like lately they've been I mean, in ring, they're
the
fantastic. Yeah, they're a comedy team now, though. They're always doing backstage hilarious stuff. God, what was it? The Halloween episode of Raw when they did the Swayze Farley Chippendales.
That was so good.
It was amazing. That was so good. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that I wouldn't hesitate to throw them on there either. Thinking about
what about Swerve and Our Glory?
Top 20.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think
they don't deserve
10.
top 10. I didn't think so either, but they
kind
were
of a flash
champions.
in the pan. Yeah, they were champs, and then it kind of
they were
down.
that team of let's just put two guys together and see how it works. It doesn't work all the time. It works with the New Age Outlaws, but
yeah,
that's about it.
No, it was fine. I think, obviously the Acclaim really caught on the latter part of the year. So maybe that's why they didn't make the list. But I mean, clearly they are so over right now with the AEW crowd. It's ridiculous. So yeah, solid all around. That's going to bring us to this week 5 count. As we said, we're trying to get into the holiday spirit, and we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks our own gift exchange on the podcast. So that got me thinking for this week's 5 count. How about this week we do 5 Christmas gifts that wrestlers need? So how this works is we each thought of 5 wrestlers, and we thought of a gift that they would need for this Christmas. Kevin, you seem like you're chomping at the bit to give yours.
I am. I am excited. And I'll start off with number 5.
I'm excited too.
All the male members in Judgment Day. I will gift them some new eye makeup.
Okay, like that.
Number 4, a little bit nicer.
I'm going to gift guy liner.
I'm going to gift the Usos and the Young Bucks, just because I would never buy them for myself because I'm cheap and I couldn't afford them. I would gift them some new Nike Jordans.
Okay.
Now I get a little meaner. Ali, I'm going to gift him a new repackage because he's lame as hell.
Damn.
Number 2, Ronda Rousey, I'm going to gift her a new personality.
Damn.
And number 1,
you're not wrong though.
Number 1, this is actually kind of nice. I'm going to gift a new set of teeth to GCW's own Nick Gage.
You could give him some dental insurance, maybe. Yes. Okay.
Delta Dental, Nick.
Delta Dental. It's good.
Kev, be careful. The MDK gang's going to come after you with that. Remember, he is a friend of the show. He thinks our podcast is awesome.
Oh, shit.
That's true. Yeah, if he's happy, hey, whatever you want, Nick, you're all right with it.
So I started off on the nice list and a little bit naughty.
That was good. Joe, you mind if I go next?
Well, you didn't get my special admission.
I do not mind.
Nikita Lyons thong. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on, come on. That's inappropriate.
Wow.
All right,
Kevin.
I'll go next. Number 5, Excalibur, AEW announcer Excalibur, a spa gift card for a facial. Number 4, Moss. We're gonna give him a home studio so we can learn to be a voice artist because he's got that voice like this. So he's got a future in that. Number 3, Dom Mysterio. I don't know if they still make these. They probably do. How about a Floby? He's got that mullet rocking right now, and I feel like the Floby is just going to keep it on the level that he needs. But I haven't seen a commercial for a Floby in a minute. The Street Profits are my number 2. The Street Profits, we're giving them a Cigar of the Month club because obviously they want the smoke.
Okay, nice.
And number 1, Nikki Cross. She's taken on that crazy, out of control persona. She just needs to chill out a little bit. Let's give her a Kenny G CD and a bag of weed.
What's that, Riddle running by her?
Riddle that's his gift to her.
Hey.
All right. Joe, you were stone face. I don't know if you're just disgusted with all these
because of the weed talk. Stone face.
Maybe so.
Hilarious.
Can you talk?
I'm going to be on. I'm not trying to. This is in honor of Jason for not being here. Can't wait for the 5 count to be over with when we have things like this.
Yes,
that was for you, Jason.
Soon to be done. Yep.
Yeah, that was for Jason, because if he would have got this, he would have been like, I don't care. So here we go. Number 5, Tony Khan, the man who has everything. He's getting LJN figures and the ring from the 1980s to complete his figure collection.
He does.
Number 4, MJF is going to get 2, not 1, but 2 gifts. A VHS copy of They Live and a VHS copy of Return to Frogtown, because he is a second-rate hot rod, just like he was called this past Wednesday. Oh no, it was Hell Comes to Frogtown. See, those are the 2 Piper movies that I know. Number 3, Dexter Loomis. Yeah, you've been doing pencils for long enough. You're getting some paintbrushes. Kevin Owens is going to get a giant stuffed panda bear because pandas rule. And number 1, Braun Breaker. Got to make my list somehow. I think he can find a University of Michigan varsity jacket. I feel like that he could get one of those. I feel like that with them being in the playoffs, and I feel like he has a connection with the University of Michigan somehow.
Yeah. He knows a guy, at least, who knows a guy, and who knows a guy.
He knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, and you know a guy too. You know a guy who knows a guy, so to speak, on a personal level.
Sadly, I know a couple of guys on that team, and it's just like, I'm a Spartan, but I'm surrounded by Wolverines.
They got a nice hospital.
They do.
Yes, they do.
That's all they got.
Shout out to
I'm
you.
a big fan of their hospital / another town. That hospital is huge.
Yes. No, completely.
And that was my 5 count, and we're almost done with 5 counts.
Merry Christmas to all of our wrestlers and to the 5 count. There you go.
The gift I'm going to give to Jason. He didn't have to do this 5 count. So there you go, Jason. That was for you.
Who made your 5 count? Let us know on social media using the hashtag TWP5count.
All right, now before we do say goodbye, I made an omission in my notes talking about Dynamite. There was just one thing that I think I wanted to get our thoughts on. The MJF Ricky Starks promo. Ricky wins the Diamond Battle Royal. He's going on next week at Winter is Coming to be MJF's first challenger. And MJF does what he does. And Ricky Starks gave it right back to him and then some. And I think Ricky's been a guy that we've all thought, like, a lot of potential there. To me, this could be one of those that we look back on and say that was his coming out party, because he went right at MJF and completely knocked it out of the park. I know, Joe, you've been touching on it all day here, Joe, about the hot rod line that Starks threw out there, man. What'd you think?
Well, MJF's been called a second-rate wannabe hot rod before. But, when Starks just did the bullet points of, rip on the hometown, check, do this, do that. It's like, you're so, predictable. Starks was good. It was his moment. It was his time to shine. I loved it. And I love that it's still going on Twitter. That it's like, they're trying to call him Maxi Pad.
Yeah.
And MJF's just like, that's not getting over. That's bad. And Starks responded to this fan going, I don't know. I think it has wings. And I'm like, you're still doing it. I like that they're keeping that together. I just hope it continues. I think it's going to be dumb when he loses a championship, but then goes after the ring.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like you're fighting for a ring now. It's like they made it work because they had the right guy go over. It was Starks this time. Just bad timing again on AEW, where they didn't look at the full picture. Starks gives the promo of his career. MJF does what MJF does. Commercial break, come back, Moxley starts with, everyone talks too much.
Oh, yeah.
You just contradicted yourself.
Yeah. No, because that was a long segment.
It was great.
It was
though.
great.
It was great. Both guys.
Yep. Kev?
I love the segment, and just like and we've all been Ricky Starks fans, right? But similar to what Joe said, like his coming out party, he's great on the mic. He looks great physically. He does great in the ring. Reminds me of like Wheeler Yuta. Remember when he went toe to toe with MJF?
Mm-hmm.
That made me a Wheeler fan. I'm already a Ricky fan. This makes me excited for the match even more. No way in hell he beats MJF. No
You
way.
don't think so?
It's just sad because it kind of just leads him to getting slaughtered. I just don't want to see him get buried. That's the biggest thing. I feel like I would have rather had a tease, like have him win leading up to a pay-per-view style match, not have him win next week match.
Yeah.
That's the only bad thing. Now, if there's some shenanigans that can run in to save Ricky, I just don't want to see him get quote unquote buried, right? But the promo was fire. When you can stand up toe to toe, word to word with MJF, you got my respect. So
he didn't stand up. He won that promo battle.
You win.
It was like I was watching 8 Mile
or win.
He was B Rabbit,
Mm-hmm.
and MJF was Papa Doc. He had nothing to say and just did a low blow. So,
but that was so great too. That was I laughed my head off at that. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah,
you talk all that junk.
He
like,
didn't have a word to say.
Bonk right in the nuts. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Like Ricky Starks was B Rabbit, and MJF was Papa Doc.
That was fun. I'm excited to see how that match pulls off that week, and that's a good. I've seen people online also be like, this could be that. Maybe 5 years from now, we look at those two guys as kind of like, for the AEW era of like Rock and Austin, right? Of like these two guys who are just like rivals, because that's how good of a start this was. So that'll be next week for Winter is Coming. Before we say goodbye, quick update on the football picks. Brett opening up a very, very nice lead. Yeah. He went 2-1. Harper went 1-2. Brett is now at 21-15. Harper 4 games back, 17-19. I think we have 5 weeks left of picks, so we're getting to the final games here. This week we have the Eagles and the Giants, the Bucks and the 49ers, and the Dolphins and the Chargers. Kev, I mean, again, it was at 3 and it could have been 2 or 4, and Brett got it done again with his pick of the 49ers. Even with Jimmy G breaking his foot, they pulled it out. They did won pretty handily over Miami. So again, Brett's got to be loving it.
Brett could be up 10 games or Harper could be up 10 games every game this season. It's been good. You pick very close games, right? Mm-hmm. Coin toss games. So it's like the kids are going to pick and I love my son to death. He's a creature of habit, right? So it's like, and we watch Slime Time on Nickelodeon. Oh. It's a fun thing on Thursdays where they talk about different teams, and they just like they show highlights of the week before. So they show like Jalen Hurts throwing a touchdown, and it's like an eagle flying through the air, or it's like Tua running around and he has a dolphin head on him. So
I'll have to look for that. Yeah,
that's the best thing about this season more than previous. He's always been interested, but sometimes he's like, show me what the logo looks like. Right. Yeah. Now we watch this Slime Time this entire season. So he sees the teams and he's like, oh, they're fun. He has a dolphin head. Like, so it's those kind of fun things. So even if
judges, hold on. Breaking news. I think Kevin, you broke the rules on the picks. The kids aren't supposed to be doing research on it. It's supposed to be completely at random. So that's a 2-game penalty. Ooh. So Harper is now only down 3 games instead of 2. It is the final ruling from the judges, not from me, but you're not supposed to be doing any research, kids. It's supposed to be random.
No wonder.
So sorry, Kevin. No wonder he's doing well. He's actually paying attention.
So, said this in our text chat this week that the confusion of like logos on the screen that we were watching Georgia football, which is a big G, same as the Packers. And she's like, "Oh, the Packers are playing." I'm like, "Oh no, honey, it's college football. It's not the pros." So it's
different colors. Come on, kid.
Yeah, a lot to learn. Yeah, they're
banana peels.
Yeah.
Oh wait, judges. Hold on. Harper doesn't know the difference between pro and college. That's an extra game for her. Now she has a 2. Now she's only down by 2. So yeah, we're looking good here, Brian. I think Harper's got a chance here. She just gained 3 games based on the judges.
Thanks for looking into the rule book, Joe. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
I'm not looking into it. It's like they're listening in on my headset. Sorry, I'm just like, it's like I'm the ref in the game, like trying to play.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to be like the Academy Awards. Wrap it up.
Yeah. No, but we'll see.
All of us.
That'll be Saturday on our Facebook page for another week of the NFL picks. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Of course, youtube.com/thatwrestlingpodcast. All of our social media at thatwrestlepod and whatamaneuver.net for our socials. We will be back next week. All 4 of us, we believe. We'll see. As always, to be determined when it comes to us. But we always want to say thank you for listening. Enjoy wrestling. We'll talk to you next.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow @ThatWrestlePod on social media.